Who let this beggar in?
Get away from him!
This beggar. She looks so familiar.
Get her out! Don't let that filth near Alexander!
Stop!
Alexander, she's a lunatic. Stay away from her, it's dangerous.
You know her?
I don't know him. How could I know someone like that? I'm just worried about you, Alexander. This is your welcome home party. It can't be ruined by some lunatic. Mr. Sterling, she's right. Best to let security handle it.
Serafina's reaction. This is all wrong. Those eyes. They're Serafina's. Exactly the same. Hey. It's okay. If she's my wife, then who the hell is the woman with me?
Alexander, don't let her fool you. There are so many scammers out there. He must have looked us up beforehand. We need to call the cops and have him arrested.
Get the doctor and take her to the lounge. Yes, sir.
She's malnourished and has several old injuries. It could be from severe shock. Can't speak.
Alexander, let me see her. Maybe I can help. Why is she so scared of me? I didn't hurt her.
You've never met?
Of course not. That girl's crazy.
5 years ago, when I had Serafina try on her wedding ring, there was a small burr on the inside, and it cut the base of her finger. Only the two of us knew about it. Serafina, do you remember how you got that scar on your ring finger?
What scar? Alexander, what the hell is wrong with you? You're doubting me? For her? You're really hurting me!
What is it? Write it down. Take your time. Don't be afraid.
Then who is she?
Lilith Thornhill, Serafina's stepsister. I only met her a few times 3 years ago.
Alexander, don't believe him. He's a psycho. You can't listen to a psycho.
Don't worry, of course I don't believe him. After all, you're my wife. I just feel bad for him. I'm just letting him stay for a bit.
Alexander, I'm coming with you. We don't know who he is. I'm afraid he might hurt you.
He's afraid of you.
Don't come any closer.
I'm your wife. Why can't I come home?
Go stay with your family tonight.
Okay. As you wish. Long-term control has made her wary of anyone who gets close.
No one's going to hurt you. This is the Sterling estate. When she got nervous, she'd always grab my sleeve. I used to find her so childish. I won't let them take you.
So you finally agreed.
Sit down.
We haven't done this in so long.
Yeah, 3 years. I want to make it up to you.
Really? Yes, what did you have in mind?
I'd like to talk about the past. About our first date. Your order?
Steak, medium well, and strawberry cake.
So why did you cry on our wedding night?
I was just so touched. To finally marry you, of course I was emotional.
Wrong. Serafina cried on our wedding night because her father was dying. Serafina cried because her father didn't make it. She was hiding in the dressing room, crying her eyes out. I comforted her for a long time. Do you still have that birthmark on your ankle?
Of course it is. It's just, you can't see it under this dress.
Serafina has no such mark. She has a red mide behind her ear.
You knew all along.
This wasn't a test. I gave you your chance.
Alexander, we've been together for 3 years. You can't just doubt me over some crazy woman.
Mr. Sterling!
The estate just called. And?
Someone broke into the estate. They're after her. Someone broke into the house. They're after her.
You've got a lot of nerve coming back.
Hold them down.
Mr. Sterling, we got the wrong place! This is a misunderstanding! A total misunderstanding!
The wrong place? Funny you should end up in a guest room on the second floor.
Ah! It's okay now.
Speak. Who sent you? Have it your way. Marcus, call the police.
Right. Mr. Sterling, don't call the cops. We were just paid to do a job.
Who paid you?
I don't know. They contacted us through a middleman.
That's fine. We can always trace the payment. We found the recent deposit, $50,000, from a Thornwood relative.
The Thornwoods. Excellent. Mr. Sterling, we were just doing a job. What were your orders?
What was the order?
To take him away.
Take him where?
Out of town. Near the old warehouse district.
Go on.
They said, whatever it takes. He's not to be seen by Mr. Sterling ever again. Mr. Sterling, we've told you everything. Please, let us go.
It's not me you should be begging. It's her. Upstairs.
She's been through a severe trauma. This isn't an act.
He's not faking it. If this was all an act, no one would ruin themselves like this.
Sir, Mrs. Thornhill is here, and she brought a lot of people. Alexander Sterling! You can't treat our family like this!
Mom, don't. Alexander is just confused by that woman.
Bring out that psycho!
They're here already. I guess the attempt to grab him last night failed. So they bring reporters this morning. If you can't snatch the person, you smear the name.
It's okay. Mr. Sterling is taking care of it. Do you want to go look?
Alexander Sterling! You finally came out!
Alexander, I know you're mad, but I'm your wife. You can't kick me out of this family.
You be the judge. My daughter's been in a loveless marriage for 3 years. Mr. Sterling returned, fell for some psycho, and kicked my daughter out. Where is the justice?
Yeah, Serafina is such a good kid. That woman's nuts. I hope Mr. Sterling isn't being played.
Don't be afraid, no one can take you away.
Play it.
What is this? Someone broke into the Sterling mansion.
What is this?
Last night, someone broke into the estate. They were trying to take him.
And what does that have to do with my family?
Why the rush? A $50,000 wire transfer from an account belonging to a Thornwood subsidiary.
I have no idea. We're a big family, the Thornholds. I can't keep track of what everyone does.
Fine, you don't know. But I'm sure you know about this.
This lady has many old injuries. They're consistent with long-term captivity.
Doctors make mistakes. He's just insane. Insane people hurt themselves.
You claim he's a distant relative. What's his name? Parents' names? SSN. Which hospital diagnosed him? The records?
Alexander, we don't need to tell the reporters all this. We can't tell the press. He's sick, and he deserves his privacy.
You were trying to take him, but you don't even know who he is. What gives you the right?
I was just trying to help.
Your kindness? Was that having him dragged away last night?
It wasn't me. I didn't. Alexander, how could you think that of me?
He woke up, saw you, and was so terrified he fell out of bed. Then your mom shows up, and he starts shaking like this. You call him crazy? Why is he only scared of your family?
You psycho! Cut the act! Who paid you to hurt her?
He can't speak. You trust a madman? After 3 years?
They make you the prime suspect.
Alexander, don't go too far! You don't mess with the Thornhounds!
The person from last night is at the station. Should we go over there together now?
Mom, you don't look well. Let's just go.
The Thornwilds can't take you from me. No one can. You don't have to thank me. I'm the one who should be sorry.
Mr. Sterling, you need to see this.
Why'd Alexander trust a crazy beggar? Why'd Alexander trust a crazy beggar? I don't know why Alexander would believe a crazy beggar. I just want my home back. I want us back.
My poor daughter. She waited 3 years for her husband, and he comes back just to throw her out for some crazy woman.
Quite the actors. Should I have PR handle this? No need. Look into Lilith Thornwood's past 3 years. Plastic surgery clinics, travel history, bank records, and the surveillance from the Thornwood estate. And every warehouse and property under Beatrice Thornwood's name. Understood. And contact the Thornwood family's former doctor, their house staff, and their drivers. Find them all. Yes, sir. Also, have the lawyers draw up the papers. I want them to answer to the law, not just argue with them online.
She's much, much more stable today. She's able to write.
You're not a burden. And you're not the one who should be sorry. Do you remember what they did?
Mr. Sterling, please, don't push her.
You don't have to write.
Locked me up, old warehouse.
Which warehouse? No more! That's enough! Don't be afraid. I'm here. No one can hurt you.
Sir, look at the wall. Got photos and video. I'll have the cops seal the scene. Find out who's renting this warehouse and pull the last 3 years of surveillance. Convenience stores, auto shops, junkyards. Check every camera in the vicinity, all of them. Yes, sir. I don't know what she used to carve it. I just know she waited for me in here for 3 years. Get everything from this scene. It's all evidence. I don't want anything missed.
Stay still.
Alexander, help me.
Mr. Sterling, she's in shock!
Serafina, don't look. Don't look anymore.
3 years ago, after you left, I had a drink and woke up in a warehouse.
You don't have to write anymore. I'm sorry. I should have come back sooner. I won't let you down again.
Mr. Sterling, we traced the warehouse. It was leased by Mrs. Holloway's son, paid for by Beatrice Thornwood.
Keep digging.
Lilith Thornhill's posted again. A video, kneeling at the Thornhill estate, claiming you abandoned your day one wife.
My day one wife?
Mr. Sterling, I've contacted the lab. The hospital still has a DNA sample from Serafina's father on file. How long for the results? 3 to 5 days. Rush it. 2 days. Understood. Did you find Lilith Thornwood's plastic surgery records? Yes, it was 3 years ago at a private clinic in South Korea. She gave the surgeon a photo of Serafina and told him to copy it. The hospital stone-barred us, but we found a nurse who was there. She'll testify. Excellent. And we're also checking the security footage from the Thornwood estate, but Mrs. Thornwood might have caught on. She's been in and out of the place constantly for the last couple of days.
Keep an eye on him. If he dares to touch anything in the old family estate.
What? Mr. Sterling, there's a fire at the Thornwood estate.
Repeat after me. Take your time. There's no rush.
This morning, a fire broke out at the Sterling family estate in Seaslur.
Faulty wiring. At least no one was hurt. The house, it held all our heirlooms.
All of Mom's things are in the old house.
I know. I'll go get them now.
The safe's been forced. It's empty.
Did your mother hide anything important somewhere else? I will find the evidence. No matter what Beatrice burned, she won't get away with it. Sir, a lawyer called. Seraphine's mother left something at his firm. What was it? They said it's for Serafina only, or his legal spouse can apply. Can you go? Mrs. Sterling, your mother left this with me. For you, in case you were ever in trouble. I need you to sign for it.
Your mother suspected even back then that Beatrice Thornhead was moving assets. She was afraid they would take advantage of you. That's why she kept copies.
This is enough to put Mrs. Thornhill behind bars. Not enough. What do you mean? Mrs. Thornhill isn't the only one I'm after. I want Lilith Thornhill to pay for this too. Neither of them will get away. We've got Leo. He made a run for the docks, but we cornered him there with the police. He confessed, said he took what was in the safe and gave it all to Lilith Thornhill. Good. So, do we make our move? Lilith loves an audience for her tears. I'll give her the grandest stage. The Sterling Anniversary Gala.
No. Let me handle this. Are you sure? People will stare, they'll take pictures, they will talk. Lilith might lose it. 3 years. Locked in a basement. She lost her voice, her face. She even lost her name. She wants her name back. I can't stop her. All right, I'll go with you.
Try again. Take it slow.
Serafina Sterling.
That's great. An improvement from yesterday.
It's not enough.
I will make everyone hear me.
Mr. Sterling, her vocal cords are still fragile. She can't overdo it.
We're done.
I can do it.
I know you can, but you need to rest. The gala's in 3 days. That's enough time. Scared? If it gets to be too much, just let me know. I'll get you out of here.
I've waited 3 years for this day.
Okay? Then I'm with you.
What are you looking at, sweetie?
The Sterling Gala, I didn't get an invite.
So what if he didn't? It's not like you'd go by yourself.
Mom, you don't understand. If I don't show, what will people say? That the title of Mrs. Sterling is truly gone.
What are you going to do?
I'm going myself. Let Alexander try and stop me. I'll make a scene, call the press, and watch him burn.
Are you insane? What if he reveals that psycho at the gala?
He won't. And if he tries, I'll just pin everything on him. I'll just say he cheated first.
Forcing me to leave the Sterlings.
Lilith, something feels different about Alexander this time.
Different how? What proof could he possibly have? The old manor burned down. I have what's in the safe now.
Mom, don't worry. He has nothing.
Mr. Sterling, I have everything prepared. The DNA results are in. It's confirmed. Serafina is his biological daughter.
Any news on Lilith Thornhill? He sent a dress. She's coming tomorrow as Mrs. Sterling. Let him come.
One more thing. We've received word. Lynn's statement is on record. He's confessed. He says Mrs. Thornhill put him up to it, and he gave everything from the safe to Lilith Thornhill.
Excellent. For tomorrow's gala, have the arrest team ready to move in at any time.
Understood.
Mr. Sterling, can she really hold on?
She got through the last 3 years. She'll get through tomorrow. Still awake? Do you want to wear a veil tomorrow? You sure? All right, Serafina. After tomorrow, everyone knows exactly who you are. You never were. You're Serafina Sterling, a true Sterling, and my wife.
I haven't forgiven you.
I know.
I'll trust you one more time.
This time, I won't disappoint you again.
Mr. Sterling! Mrs. Sterling, over here! Mrs. Sterling, are the online rumors true?
Alexander, I knew you couldn't stay away.
Lilith Thornhill thinks she's won.
Miss Sterling,
He's inside. You can go in anytime.
Don't worry. We're all here with you.
Mrs. Sterling, you've been so devoted while Mr. Sterling has been away. It's my duty. I'm his wife.
There's something I need to set straight.
This woman standing before you is not my wife.
Alexander, what are you talking about? Are you still mad at me? What's gotten into Mr. Sterling? He didn't actually fall for that psycho, did he? I know she has you under her spell, but you can't humiliate me in front of all these people for some woman who came from nowhere. I am your lawfully wedded wife!
What is that place? Who's being held there?
This place? Does it look familiar?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Continue.
Isn't that Lilith Thornhill? She copied Serafina's face? An imposter? Lies! They're all lies! Alexander, how could you forge evidence to frame me, all for that crazy woman?
The real Serafina Sterling disappeared 3 years ago. Lilith had surgery to become my wife. For 3 years, I've been living with an imposter.
No, that's not true. Alexander, look at me. How can you say you don't know me?
A face can be altered. But tell me this. Where is the mole behind Serafina's right ear? When I put her ring on 5 years ago, which finger did I scratch?
Shut it up! Shut it all up! You all set this up!
This is my wife, Serafina Sterling.
You can't be back! You should have died in that warehouse!
A slip of the tongue?
Don't you worry, sis. When I'm Mrs. Sterling, I'll live well in your place.
As for you, Alexander, even if they saw you, they'd just call you crazy.
Mrs. Sterling! How long were you held? Mr. Sterling, when did you know?
Lilith Thornwood, it's time to pay up.
You lured him home! You rented the warehouse! You're insane! I'm your mother! I did all this for you!
You all right?
Mr. Sterling, any response to what's happened these past 3 years?
I was negligent. I will cooperate fully with the police, and I will make things right with my wife, Serafina Sterling.
And what about Lilith Thornhill impersonating your wife for 3 years? Will the Sterling Company be pressing charges?
Yes. It's not just her, everyone involved in this. Not one of them will get away with it.
So this was about an apology? That's pointless. Anyone who insulted you will pay.
The slanderers have been served.
I'll stand on my own.
It wasn't me! My mom made me do it!
I'm her stepmother. I didn't hurt her. I was worried sick when she was missing for 3 years.
Lilith Thornwood ruined my face. It was Mrs. Thornhill who locked me in the basement.
You're lying! I didn't!
3 years ago, after Alexander left, Mrs. Thornhill tricked me back home, lying that my father was dying. I drank the water he gave me, woke up in a warehouse. Lilith Thornhill came to see me. He told me my face and my man were his now. My identity would be his from then on. They stole 3 years from me, but they can't steal my whole life.
Serafina, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
I don't forgive.
Mrs. Sterling, after all you've endured, do you feel any hatred?
I did. I hate them for destroying my face, for stealing 3 years of my life.
But I found that if I only focused on hate, I'd still be trapped in that basement. So I've decided to really live my life. And I want others to know that too. It's not your fault you were hurt. And there's no shame in being a survivor.
What's wrong?
Serafina, I know I don't have the right to ask you to forgive me, and I know sorry isn't enough to make up for 3 years. I have to ask you, can I have a chance to win you back?
Alexander,
I'm here.
I still think about the warehouse. And I still blame you.
I deserve this.
But I want to give you a chance. This time, please, don't let me go again.
I won't.
Do you think my mom would be proud of me?
Of course she would. You're so brave.
3 years ago, I thought I was going to die in that basement.
But you survived. But you're alive.
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. And from now on, I am no longer the crazy beggar. I'm no longer the one with a stolen name. I am Serafina Sterling.
And my wife, who I need to win back.
You'll have to earn it.
I will. Mr. Sterling, this is an organized troll campaign. It's those distant relatives. With the assets recovered, they're acting out of spite.
Get our lawyers on this. Sue every single one.
Alexander, fighting this just makes us look like bullies.
But they're slandering us.
Next week, at the fundraiser, I'll take the stage myself.
Serafina, every public appearance, It's just reopening old wounds.
I have to be the one to speak up, so they can't just make things up. If I speak out, it'll end the speculation.
Fine. I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Miss Sterling, is this charity just a front to cash in on your story? All Glimmer Foundation expenses are posted monthly.
But you just won't let go of the Thornwoods, leaving that mother and daughter with no chance of recovery. Isn't that just ruthless?
They have received the punishment they deserve.
But they're already being punished! Why won't you forgive? Why won't you forgive?
Were you imprisoned for 3 years? Disfigured? Silenced? Stripped of all your freedom? You didn't live through my hell. You don't get to tell me to forgive. Letting go of the hatred was my choice. For my own peace. It was never an obligation. Mrs. Sterling, thank you for everything. Thank you all. I feel so much lighter now.
You shut a lot of people up today. Mrs. Sterling, mail from the prison. Lilith is also requesting a video call.
Not a single word of apology. Just whining about how hard prison is. She's using my dad to guilt me into helping her.
Just refuse Lilith. Don't see him.
I have to go and settle this for good.
But every time you see him, it's just to corner you.
Then I'll make him lose all hope.
All right, I'll go with you.
Serafina, I know I was wrong. Please, just forgive me this once. It's so hard in here.
So what have you learned?
I shouldn't have been so weak! I should have ruined you then!
Now the truth comes out.
Why do you get everything?
The Thornwood fortune, Alexander, all the attention! I had it for 3 years! Why should I give it all back to you?
Because it was never yours.
But those 3 years, I was truly happy. Your clothes, your house, your money, all mine.
Enough!
Please, I'm begging you. Tell them you forgive me. You know how long I was in there?
1,095 days.
Every day I ask myself, what did I do wrong?
But I'm your sister. And you call yourself my sister?
You've always been jealous. But what I had, I earned. I took nothing from you. The law has served its justice. Now, this is mine. I don't hate you anymore, but I won't forgive you. Get yourself straight. This is your last chance.
Now he's feeling better?
Man, I was letting them go, but it was always about letting me go.
Did you do all this?
I remembered you liked them.
Serafina, 3 years ago, I asked you for a chance to win you back. A chance to win you back. And for this past year, I've taken all the heat with you. But I know that just saying I'm sorry can't make up for those 3 years. All I ask is to spend the rest of my life by your side, building the Starlight Foundation together. I will keep you safe. Always. Will you marry me? Again?
I do. But Alexander, it's not because I need you. And not because I owe you anything. I'm Serafina Sterling, the founder of the Glimmer Foundation. I want to stand by your side.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Congratulations to you both. And Serafina, there's one more thing. With 6 months of consistent vocal therapy, your voice will be fully restored. And the surgery for your facial scars is all set, too. Let's wait till the fund is stable.
Alex dropped his overseas work for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Serafina, one more thing. That old warehouse out of town where they held you, I bought it.
Why would you do that?
I'll tear it down and rebuild. A healing center for female survivors. The hell that once trapped you will now become a haven for so many.
Alex.
The darkest days are over. I'm here with you now, and I'm not leaving.
The past still hurts, but I don't have to face it alone. The future is a long road, but I won't be walking it alone.